Hi everybody, welcome back. I'm in a heat wave again, sorry to rub it in. Now, we're off and running with part 2 of Why is Trump Still Here? But before I do that, I want to thank you guys for your response to the last video. It was an extraordinary reading, I think, and I actually ummed and ahed whether I'd upload it at all. I thought maybe I've gone too far. Oh, my earring fell off. Must be a gremlin in the works. And yeah, I thought I'd gone too far, but your responses were magnificent, and it's taken me a bit longer than usual to get through them all because I love to read every comment. So thank you for keeping it coming in. So I hope it was helpful in some way, getting a grip that this thing's not going to evaporate overnight. It's a process, and there's a reason for the process. So now we're on to part 2. So in terms of the big question, why is Trump still here, we sort of know the answer, and the answer is because of the GOP, and that they are failing to do their constitutional duty. They are failing the American people. They are failing each other. They're just failing. And it's one thing to have a mad king, but it's another for everyone who keeps him in power. So I want to have a look, first of all, are the GOP any closer to ditching him or not? Most of you would know McCabe's books come out saying that they were all talking behind the scenes at the Department of Justice, and I'm sure the CIA, and I'm sure the GOP, about the 25th Amendment right back when Comey was fired. They've been talking about this a lot. It's turned up in my readings. I'm sure it's turned up for other readers. But then they don't do anything. They know. So they are responsible for putting in a card-carrying nutcase in the presidency and keeping him there. He's such a rogue. He's so dangerous. And he's a dangerous idiot. He's not a useful idiot. Reagan was a useful idiot. Reagan was an optimum Republican president, right? Because he could be very charming to the man in the street and didn't have a clue what happened politically, didn't need to because there was big agendas by the GOP and they could just roll it out with Reagan with a smile on the dial, right? While the deficit climbed to unprecedented heights. He was a useful idiot. Trump, no, just no. So the first part of this is the GOP getting any closer to separating themselves from Trump? I dread to think. I dread to think, viewers. I have brought out the Toff deck for this because they deserve it. So let's have a look at the GOP. Are they getting any nearer? Because it seems to me they do know. But are they scared of their base? What right have they to keep the flat earthers and Neanderthals to direct the power of America? How dare they? Why should the base rule? Anyway, GOP. Oh, Queen of Cups illusion. Yes. What's happening here? Well, yes. 7 of Wands. They're putting a brave face on it. Princess and a Queen. Well, these aren't cards of moving on this man, I have to say. No. So, there's a lot of illusion around this, and there's a lot of talking each other up. Okay, so let's have a closer look. The Queen of Cups, the Queen of Emotions. they're hanging in not for political reasons, they're hanging in for emotional reasons, because emotionally they haven't, individually or collectively, they haven't got the courage to ditch him. So just before I did this video, I was whizzing through some news sites and I noticed that some retired general or someone said, getting rid of Trump is not like D-Day and the landing at Omaha Beach. Just get rid of him. Emotionally, they are wimps. If you're not sure what a wimp is, look it up on Google. I'm sure it'll give some bizarre explanation. But a wimp basically is a gutless wonder, and they are a whole posse of gutless wonders. They have the Ace of Discs behind, which is the Ace of Pentacles, which is money. Money rules their world and rocks their world. Underneath, they have the Princess of Discs, or this is Knights in the other deck. And look at the spikes here. I don't think this is a literal woman in this case on the GOP. There's so few women in the GOP because I guess they're strapped to their stoves, giving birth to the next child. But look at those spikes. So it's like that's their emotional landscape, viewers. Ooh. It's also money, but it's a very prickly forest they have themselves in. They do have the Strength card on top, and their strength is presenting a united front. Even if the country goes down the toilet on their watch, they'll go down together. Awesome. You'd want that, wouldn't you? Okay. They have here the Seven of Wands. It's a funny card, the Seven of Wands. It's fighting battles, defending yourself. So this is what it's all about, is the motivation, the mask, and defending the indefensible. So I'd have to say from that, no, not anytime soon. They'll go on talking behind the scenes, and talking, I think, in quite vicious terms about how inadequate this man is, how dangerous he is, the folly of having him as president, and Sean Hannity as vice president, it would appear. Will they do anything about it? No. What can you say? Okay. So they're not learning quickly. But you can see, if you go back to the big picture, viewers, this is good. If they sorted things out, they might be better rivals next year, in 2020 for contending for the federal election. There. Let them fall off the branch in their own way. So my next question actually involves Murdoch. Rupert Murdoch, ex-Australian. He wasn't content to destroy the UK in the 80s. He managed that quite well. He's gone on now to do his bit to destroy America. Wonderful man. Now, let's remind ourselves of Rupert. Before Fox, he was already doing this sort of fake journalism. It's a really powerful tool. If he just had programs that were commentators, which is all they are, they're just commentators, it wouldn't be as powerful. It's very clever calling it Fox News. Anyway, apart from securing Vice President Hannity, is he having second thoughts? We know that he thought of Trump before the election exactly in the words of Rex Tillerson, as a fucking moron. Okay? That's what Murdoch actually thought. He had to be talked around by Jared Kushner. He instinctively didn't want to go for Trump, but then got talked around, has made a fortune off it, fills that gap. And then, of course, he was married for many years to Wendy Spy Queen Deng, who we think, viewers, was shagging Putin. And whether she was or wasn't, she's definitely suspect and godmother to the Kushner children. And now with Jerry Hall, what's going on in her peanut brain? Ooh, what? Power is an aphrodisiac, money is an aphrodisiac is all you can say. I never got it. Don't think I will now. Okay, Murdoch. And then we'll finish with a little look at Mueller. Is Murdoch going to pull the plug on Trump? We know that some of the late-night commentators on Fox have started to, break the line, but they're not as popular as the illustrious Sean Hannity. What is this? Murdoch. What's going to happen? Funny one. A bit of nostalgia there. Still in love with Fox News Queen of Cups. What we have here is cups, cups, and cups. Emotion, emotion, emotion. Not yet, I think. For Murdoch, he still sees himself as the pharaoh in the picture. He is immensely wealthy. Trump, as we know, actually only has a collection of debt. He's a billionaire debtor. Murdoch has serious money, and he is a powerful player. He's still in the centre of it. I think he is evaluating, because on top is the Queen of Cups. So thinking about, with the Queen of Cups, it's thinking about other people's emotions, i.e. the Fox watching public. He's keeping close tabs on that. I think with Murdoch, rather than him taking the lead and going, this is untenable, I backed a dog, time to pull out, I shouldn't have to destroy two of the world's greatest democracies to get my jollies, maybe I'll stop now. No. What I think from this is he's thinking when they turn, he'll pull the plug. In other words, he's going to milk it. God, he's a prick. Behind him, the Prince. This is the Prince of Cups, in many ways the Prince of Darkness, which was the name I gave Jared at some point early on in my videos. He's the dark charioteer. He controls so much. There's the Lovers card, which is, this is still the love affair with Murdoch and Fox regardless, so he's still preserving that. And the reason he's preserving that is the Six of Cups nostalgia. It's made zillions for me so far. No, I'm not going to get rid of it. It's funny, isn't it? With these really rich men, it's never enough. Never enough. And yet, as soon as they get arrested and everything else, you find out that in Murdoch's case, I believe his money's real, because I've been observing him for 30 years, so I think I have a head start on that opinion. But with the others, like Manafort, Stone, all of them, Kushner, you scratch the surface, you give them one court case, let alone big court cases, they've got no money. Cohen, they've all been living on the never-never, as we used to call it in Australia when you lived in debt, living on the never-never, never paying it off. Okay, last section here. Mullah, 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 Mullah. Now, the mighty Mullah. The poor guy, he knows that so much is riding on this. So let's have a look. Is he getting closer? Please. Is he getting closer? Remembering, tarot isn't fabulous with timelines, something that's pending, could be 2 weeks or 2 years, but we try as tarot readers to get a feel for a time frame as best we can, and I'm going to try with this, and I'm just going to call it the next few months. So, are we going to hear from Muller in the next few months? Next few months. Okay. Oh, victory. He gets the victory cards first off. I'm very pleased to report that. Victory. The ones. Excuse me. Now, before I go any further, with Muller, we have to understand, we keep waiting for the big one with Muller, right? But we shouldn't forget what he's already done and is doing, and the sealed indictments. So Roger Stone was one of the sealed indictments. So that tells us the other sealed indictments are going to be juicy. And you'd have to think you're then looking at the trumpets, wouldn't you? You'd have to be looking at Don Jr., Eric, Ivanka, and Kushner, because they're getting closer to individual one. Okay. No more digression. I'll try and concentrate. Okay, so the Six of Wands. Then he gets the Hermit. Oh, the Sun, I like that. Still some work to do. And Queen of Wands. Oh, I am liking this. I have to say. He gets the Hermit card. In other words, he's still behind the scenes, right? So, not yet. But if you look at this Hermit card, when you think about the Rider-Waite deck, the regular deck, it's a monk-like figure with just a little lantern showing the way. In the Thoth deck here, there's more light emanating from the Hermit. I think we're going to hear more. And credit where credit's due, don't forget there's sentencing coming up for Flynn and Gates and Manafort and Cohen, you know, and Papadopoulos keeps opening his mouth. We'll be done again. So it's not as though we've heard nothing from Mueller. We must remember this at all times. All right. Then we have the Knight of Cups underneath. So Knights are opportunities. This is an opportunity. I think the next indictment or two will give a very clear indication of the lay of the land. Right. The Knight of Cups, there's momentum. Oh, there's momentum to this. On top, we have the Queen of Wands, the no-nonsense Queen. This could be female prosecutors on his team, but isn't it fascinating how these misogynistic gorillas are being tried by women judges? I think this is the collective of the women judges. I love that. Love it, love it, love it. And the Queen of Wands isn't afraid of wielding her power, but I think it's more than one queen. And then outcome, the Sun. Loving that. Successful outcome. So he gets a victory and he gets a successful outcome. So the question was soon. So let's hope. Let us hope. So please keep the comments coming in. I'm totally enthralled. I can't tell you how much I love you guys. And people are getting in touch for readings, so I'd encourage anyone, please email me if you want a reading. That's a general reading or a past life reading. Get in touch. I send you the notes then on what to expect and what the rates are and all of that. So please get in touch. I'd be thrilled to read for you. Okay.